Hello, welcome to another Better or Worse here on my channel. Today you're going to look at Resident Evil film series versus Underworld with film series. Yes, indeed. Let's face this. The number one are going to be storylines, essentially. The main reason I decided to choose these movies or film series are mainly because we have a female protagonist that are kicking ass against the foes, essentially. Against one common enemy in the universes they are in, essentially. And they go with groups of people that they meet on the way, and sometimes they lose them on the way, and etc. etc. And they're very similar. The only main difference will basically be Resident Evil are essentially infected people or bioweapons, if you want to call it that. I don't recall if they are zombies. They are essentially they were a virus that were let loose in the first movie, and they are essentially infected people that are zombie-like creatures. And in Underworld it is essentially vampires versus lycans, or werewolf if you want to call it that. So yeah. Resident Evil essentially follows Alice, which we follow essentially when she wakes up from amnesia. You see her go around in the house. We will later find out it is the house above the hive, which essentially are the place that the virus or V-virus, T-virus, were released essentially by her husband, supposedly. And that essentially creates the events that follows in the 6 movies essentially in the series. Really interesting. In Underworld we follow Celine and follow her war against the Lycans essentially, but events turn out that she gets in love with a hybrid between the two, and they're trying to kill him, and she wants to intervene, and etc. etc. I don't want to go fully into the storylines essentially because I will be here really long for that, but I really like both movies because of the action sequences, and the storylines are essentially on the back side. But when I was younger and started this review show, I really loved them and had them in my top 10 movies. I am a better person now. But the one that I think stands out the most when it comes to interesting storyline and interesting storytelling, I will give it to Underworld. Underworld essentially mainly because I think it is more of an action-oriented series that doesn't want to be horror, that doesn't need to be horror if it wants to. It can be horror if it wants to. Resident Evil are essentially based on a horror game series, and it is supposed to be horror, but it is action essentially, so they fail in that aspect when it comes to storyline. And Underworld feels more, how can I say, original than Resident Evil in my opinion. Even though both feels a little bit more, feels kind of original both in their sense of thing, but I like Underworld more because it feels more original than Resident Evil. Topic number 2 are going to be effects and environments. The effects and environments in both film series are really cool, really amazing, and but the big difference is how essentially they show them. For the most part in Underworld, they show darker places because it's a dark world. And we are following vampires essentially, which are the main characters. In Resident Evil, it can be both dark and light, and you can be outside in the deserts for sometimes, in dark cities, and it's more of a change than Underworld, which are more in the dark city for the most part. We see mansions sometimes maybe, and the north, if they call it, so yeah. So it's hard to choose between these two because they have their own distinct environments that I really like. But if we look at the effects, I really think both have their problems and both have their strengths. For the budgets both movies they do really well in my opinion, but the one movie that I think, the famous series that I think stands out a little bit more are essentially the Resident Evil series. mainly because they have less of a budget, but they feels a little bit more interesting, the effects, which I essentially look at the CGI effects essentially. So yeah, tab number 3 are going to be characters, essentially side characters. In both film series they are recurring characters here and there, but they usually ends up not being in the next movie. Both film series have this problem in my opinion. So if you want to root for someone, they don't really give you that much of a chance, because they may be in one movie but you can skip the other one and come back to another. So yeah. So because of that, I will not really talk about any of them, and I feel both have a big problem with side characters, so it's a tie. Topic number 4 are going to be main character. The main character in both film series are cool, gives a strength, a great strong character that you really root for, essentially. But the one that I think stands out more because of her feeling more interesting and doesn't feel like a superheroine and not a hero. She had the strengths because of her kind, essentially, and because of that I think Underworld's main character, Celine, played by Kate Beckinsale, wins this topic. I like Alice, played by Mila Jovovich, but she feels more like a superhero in these movies, and that feels a little bit stupid and uninteresting in my opinion. In Underworld she is a vampire. Yes, she's a strong vampire, but she's a vampire nonetheless. And the ultimate winner are going to be Underworld. The Underworld film series, in my opinion, stands out more, mainly because of its main storyline being more original than the Resident Evil series, and because of its main character. Even though Resident Evil have an interesting main character, interesting story, it doesn't, and it's a little bit better when it comes to effects and environments. I don't feel it stands out equally as much as the Underworld movies does, because of it not sticking true to its storyline, essentially. And that's all for today, folks. I'll see you next time. Bye.